and welcome back to the channel. Can we talk with Monique? I am Monique. Thank you for joining me. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you haven't been here before, thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. On this channel, we talk a little bit about latest stories. I give my reactions, true crime, and the like. So guys, if you don't know, and if you don't know the information, Ernesto has had the book thrown at him, but I wanted to talk about an interview that I recently saw on a channel called Grown Woman's Vibes with Nyla. She interviewed a young lady who had an encounter with a man that his name rhymes with pesto. She never mentioned his name, but Hazel gave her account of encountering what I assume and whom I assume is Ernesto Williams. And I wanted to talk about this whole scam nation and this industry here of Atlanta. It's being called Scamlanta, or the scam capital of the world. And I did a little research, guys, and it's really amazing that Atlanta is very much well known for their scams, identity theft, and all type of fraud. So this fits right into the book that we've been looking at, the book of Scamalations, as it relates to Ernesto and his alleged syndicate and his co-conspirators like Erica King, Erica Hughley, Erica Rothschild, whomever these people are. But the scams be scamming. And I want to highlight that because I did not know that Atlanta was on that map in that negative sense of the word. But we'll get back to that. But let's get back to this interview. There was an interview that was so well done. And I have to say this because, you know, we watched the CNNs and, you know, their hats off to those broadcasting companies and news stations. But, you know, I'm watching YouTubers really do such a wonderful job. And that interview was given everything. It was professionally done. The host, she allowed her guests to speak, the interviewee, interviewer. I mean, it just kind of gelled and it meshed, and it was so professionally done. I believe Hazel was able to speak and give her side of the story without interruptions. The appropriate and the poignant questions were asked, and I really think it was a great job, and it was a great interview, I must say so. And you know, YouTubers is giving mainstream media a run for your money. That's why they all on YouTube now, because, you know, as YouTubers and content creators, we're able to give our edge, our opinion, whereas on mainstream TV they're not, you know. And we're able to do some of our, you know, impressions, you know, we're able to add a little bit of spice to it, and they're not able to do that on mainstream media. So I heard somebody say that this story is going mainstream. Yes, it is mainstream. I believe that YouTube is really the news, because as content creators, some of the content creators really do believe in telling the story and in telling the truth and giving the facts. And that's why a lot of people don't like bloggers. I don't know, they call us bloggers, but they don't like bloggers because a lot of times bloggers or YouTubers will do the due diligence and, you know, try to get the facts of the story and put stuff out there on blast. And I think that was one of the reasons why Ernesto and a lot of his friend did not like the people bringing out this story, because it highlighted all of the lies and all of the fraud that was really going on. But let's get back to this interview that she did with a young lady named Hazel, and I will link the video, the link to that channel in the description box, so you guys can go and watch it. But y'all, this is really giving it was a very poignant video. It was a poignant episode, and it really helped me to understand that a lot of women, when I hear the stories, have been gone through a lot of trauma, especially in the the Black community. This was trauma she encountered going on a work situation. I always wonder why they always had us do those videos on quid pro quo and, sexual harassment. This was an employment situation, allegedly, where, she encountered, and I definitely wholeheartedly believe what she said. She encountered some very unsavory, things that were done. And I just want you guys to go and watch the video for yourself and come back and give your comments on it. But people are encountering this in their homes, but you never think that you would encounter this going for employment for a job. It was an abuse of power. It was manipulation. It was just out and out disgusting. And one of the things that I'm seeing, I never knew being out here on these YouTube streets that there were sympathizers and empathizers with people who perpetuate these type of crimes. And I had stopped reporting on this story a while back because it was just, I went down a rabbit hole, and the rabbit hole that I went down was a very dark one. But people are going to do what they're going to do, and they're going to do as they wish. But the dark rabbit hole I went down, I started realizing I had no idea there was an R. Kelly sector, and that's all I'm going to say about it. And I had no idea that, there was some things that were going on in the background, but it all came to light. It all was revealed, and Hazel's story is a part of the revelation of all the shenanigans and the goings on here in Scamlanta. And it shows that as human beings, there are always people ready to harp and prey on those who do prey. Okay, there are always those who are looking for vulnerabilities in individuals to manipulate and use for whatever reason for their own sake. And this is exactly a situation where a young mother who was looking for employment to take care of her babies was preyed upon in such a egregious and such a disgusting way. I can't even believe that there are people who actually are empathizing and sympathizing. And yes, people are considered innocent until proven guilty. But from the documentation and from some things that I know from behind the scenes, it'll all come out in a court of law. The other thing is, I wasn't into the dragging people, but I was here today because at the end of that video, Hazel did a drag as it relates to Sonia. And, I'm not really into that, but it was appropriate. The people who should have done the dragging, she drug her, very well so. She really, really did. And I think it was appropriate. It was timely. It was said and done by the person who should have done it. And one of the things when I started reporting on this story, I was like, I don't want to drag people, because one of the things I've learned, Sonia, Ernesto, and some of the other characters, you didn't really have to drag them. After you listen to these phone calls as the months went on, they revealed themselves. Nobody had to drag nobody, because the disgustingness, if that is a word, the character, and I'm putting that in quotations, their characters, they reveal themselves, they expose themselves, and there's no coming back from that. You know what I'm saying? They actually drug their own selves. They made themselves look the worst because they were doing the most. But as far as dragging was concerned, Hazel literally dragged Miss Walla from here to Ohio, back to Arizona, and then back to Georgia. She drug her all the way around, and I was here for it because it was appropriate in the appropriate setting. The timing was appropriate, and it was done by the appropriate person. And I was here for it. So I want you guys to go and watch that video and come back and let me know what your reaction is. But it just helps me to understand that SCAMLANA is the Scam Nation, and they are going to be put into the book of Scamalations. And there's a lot of fraud and hoodboogers running around here, stealing identities, stealing people's homes, cars, allegedly, stealing all type of stuff, creating fake law offices and all type of things. And it is amazing that Atlanta is the scam nation of the is the capital of the scam nation, you know. But that interview was so well done. It was so well put together, and I followed it straight through, and the detail, she didn't waver from her original story that she told. She gave a lot of detail that one person, you know, would not be able to make up. And so one of the things that I'm starting to realize is, see, for all that talking that y'all did on these phones, I truly believe, like I said, that more people are going to be implicated in this. And unfortunately, if you ever dealt with people who are on that narcissism spectrum. Yes, I said it. I said the word narc because that's what I believe, in my opinion, and I'm entitled to my opinion, that Mr. Williams is on that spectrum. I believe he is I don't know what kind. I'm not a therapist, but he's definitely exhibiting and checking off all them boxes. I don't know if he's a malignant narcissist, but I truly believe that people's lives were in danger. And a lot of people didn't peep this. A long time ago, I was saying that these are the type of people, money is their God, right? Money rules them, and they will do anything for, you know, people will do some strange things for some change. And so, you know, I believe that he got involved with Shirley, not for love, but for the clout, the prestige, and being in that element. But I believe that, in my opinion, that there was some nefarious thought processes. This is just my belief, you know, as it relates. She might have, you know, bumped her head, fell down the stairs accidentally, and yeah, that type of situation. These are the type of people that you're dealing with, that will lie, steal, and cheat. And if you are lying and cheating and stealing like this for decades and decades, allegedly, and defrauding people, who's to say that if somebody turns up not unalive, that, you know, for some insurance money? I mean, it's not far-fetched. If you look at, what was that show, the show that was on the Oprah network, and the uncle outed off the nephew. Yeah, that show, with what was his name, big back fella, on the Oprah show. What was it called? Welcome to Sweetie Pies. That show. He offed his own nephew for some insurance money. So don't think far-fetched that this wasn't even a part somewhere in the fraud nation of the SCAMLANA, that insurance fraud is not a part of it. Life insurance, car insurance, and any other type of insurance, okay? Look, if this story, I'm glad that the story did come out, because, you know, I believe Shirley might have been in a little bit of danger there. I don't know. This is just my opinion, but I believe that there's a possibility, because these people deal dirty. Then there's some other names that she mentioned with regards to the son, Dion. And see, this is a situation where you get your kids mixed up in a bunch of mess. And she basically mentioned Ernesto's son being a part and parcel and witness to a situation that, to me, was egregious, and it was horrible. So more names are being pulled into this, and this is why I was saying Miss Smart thing. She's so smart. She was talking so much, and, you know, to her own demise. That's why I was like, you don't even got to say nothing. Let these people keep talking, and all of these calls have not even been released yet. Okay, so all of that texting that they did, all of that stuff that they did, it's all already known. Then the fact that, this is the thing that really kind of blew my mind. Ernesto gave power of attorney to this woman. She was able to get his cell phone. My thing was, he didn't even give power of attorney to his son or his daughter to get his stuff. So Mrs. Waller knows a lot of what's going on in that cell phone, and that's the worst person's hands to have it in. I can guarantee you now that Dion is sitting there like, yo, my own father gave power of attorney to this woman, and any text messages that went back and forth between him and the son, or him and Shirley, or it's right there, and she knows about it. But my dear, if you feel that you want to drop dime, you can do so. But I'm just going to say this. You've gotten yourself enmeshed into something where you don't even know if you're going to be able to come out of this. And then there was another YouTuber. Let me just say this. When this story started unfolding, you know, there was a particular episode where two YouTubers went on a field trip. Now, because I had gone down the rabbit hole already, I already knew that there was something wrong with one of those individuals, the saint. But I wanted to text or email so bad, but I said, nope, I'm going to let the sister with some wisdom. She going to have to find out on her own. And unfortunately, she found out that this person wasn't who they say that they really were. And that's what people have to do. They have to learn. And she's better for it. But I knew, because I had went down the rabbit hole. I had went and saw some old video. I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. And I kind of pulled back, and y'all saw I wasn't reporting on the story as much as I was. But when they went on that field trip, I want to say, sis, don't go. That's a bad look. Don't go. Because I already knew. But they went on a field trip, and I had already was side eyeing. But I'm of the belief that everybody has to make their own decision and base their interactions on their experiences. Because as we know from Miss Walla and Mr. Nesto, they are blatant liars. They lie about everything. And it could be a potential situation where people do smear other people's characters, and sometimes things are not true. But when I saw them going on that field trip, y'all, I think they went to the hair salon. I was like, don't do it, girl. Don't do it. Not the saint, but I was speaking in my mind to the other lady, because I was like, she don't know what she about to get herself into. And sure enough, the thing played out, and I was like, but things are good. She realized what the situation was. But when people pretend there's something that they're not, you know, and fool and manipulate you, there's really nothing that you can do but, you know, just say, hey, I made a huge mistake in judgment, and then move on. But honey, I knew, because I had went down that rabbit hole and found out that some of these folks, in my opinion, are just not right. Some of them are just not, when I say not right, I mean correct in, you know, how do you, I don't know. You know, some of them are getting hemmed up, arrested while they're at work. It's just a crazy situation. And some of these people have gotten themselves too close to this story. So much, in fact, sometimes you want to keep yourself an arm's length, a whole 3 or 4 arms length away from the situation. Report on the story, but then just move on. Don't get so deeply involved and enmeshed in this stuff to where, you know, it just turns, you become a part of the story, and then you get hemmed up with subpoenas and having to testify, or, you know, charges being brought against you. It is just ridiculous. I don't even understand how people do what they do, but people gonna do what they do. You just watch. I've been watching in the bushes, and everything that I said, this is gonna reveal itself. It is going to be exposed, and everything that these people try to do on the low to try to get the story ahead of other people, it kind of backfired. You know, it's always about your intent. What is your intent? And if you guys know, I started this channel because I had gone through some things as it relates to starting to understand what this narcissistic becoming aware of narcissism and toxic relationships and this abuse, and I wanted to understand what happened in my life. So I started doing this channel long before Nesto. But Nesto's story, y'all, is the story of all stories, because it gives you a behind the scenes. You're able to hear these are calls that we would never hear otherwise. You're able to look and peek and look inside of the mind, the mentality, the phone calls, what they do in the dark. A lot of times narcissists, we never know that they live multiple, double, triple, quadruple lives. Look, this man has been married 4 or 5 times, only divorced 3 times, living multiple, triple lives. You're never able to see it. The lies that they tell, the smear campaigns, the triangulation, the projection, the deflection. I mean, you're able to see it all. And that's why I am so intrigued by the story. And I think many more, because you're able to take that textbook, that DSM-5, and flip open the book. And in a picture next to Narc is Nesto's picture. In a picture next to You know, there's a picture of Miss Waller, in my opinion, too. So the story has brought to life some of the things that I have gone through, and you get a chance to see these people in their rarest form, being their true, authentic, lying, manipulating, and demonic selves. In my opinion, that's just it. And we have never been able to see this because some of the calls are really authentic. Before those calls that Shay from phone calls from prison, she dropped those calls. And they didn't know that they were going to be released. So those calls that were out there before they were released, that's who these people really were. And it is so telling. If you've ever been in a relationship with a narcissist, a romantic relationship, man or woman, if you've ever been in a relationship or have a mother or a father that's a narcissist, if you ever have friends who are on that spectrum, all you have to do is listen to these phone calls and see how these people operate. They do not operate in truth. Truth does not know them. They lie like rugs. It rolls off their tongue so easy. They're allergic to the truth. When the truth is right in front of them in documentation, they will still lie and say it's something else. They will triangulate. They will smear people. They will do whatever they have to do to maintain their quote unquote character and, their image. At the same time, dogging and manipulating and lying on other people. So this whole story, I'm going to continue to report on it, but this is one of the reasons why I continue to watch and look. And then you see the flying monkeys, and unfortunately, some flying monkeys, they know they're flying monkeys, and some don't. When I say flying monkeys, the people that the narcissist elicits, the people like Dre, the people like Dion, the people like Lamont, but some of these people are just as corrupt, in my opinion, as the main key players, and some people are unknowingly. Imagine the children of the narcissist, what they've gone through, the lies that they have been told and triangulated, and a lot of times what I see is the dissension that, in my opinion, Earnest Williams has caused with his children from multiple different marriages. He has, in my opinion, cause dissension in the ranks with all of the kids, telling one kid something, that divide and conquer type of mentality with Laverte, with Dion, with the young lady Keisha, that is what I see. That is the element of what these people operate in: chaos, confusion, and nothing about them is true. Nothing about these people is true. You'd have to have them on videotape, have them on camera, and even when they see themselves on camera or on videotape, they'll say it's not them. What was that song by Shaggy? It wasn't me. They'll just say it wasn't even them, and they are the ones there on the camera, okay? Plain as day, doing whatever they're doing. But y'all, this story is making mainstream media thanks to YouTubers, okay? YouTubers like Shay from Phone Calls from Prison, the young lady, Real Talk Bougie, we got Pam Esquire, we got other channels, like Wisdom's Daughter, we got Nyla with Grown Women's Vibes, we got oh my gosh, my little channel, so this, has become and will be going mainstream thanks to YouTubers. And in my opinion, mainstream media is YouTube, because we're able to, as content creators, give our own spin, our opinions, laugh, joke, produce our shows the way we want to. But in mainstream media, they have to keep to a particular, set of dialogue. They can't really veer to the left or to the right. They have to stay and report it. They can't really give their opinion or cut up, act the fool. And that's what's the beauty of YouTube, because we can highlight those things. We can interview the victims. We can get the documentation and go over it and review it for what it is. And I did my little investigative work, and I was like, child, please, this man has been all over the place, in my opinion, from the information that I was able to gather, and that just fell into my lap as it relates to the Smyrna Ford connection. You know what I'm saying? Because I had a little business going on over there. When I say business, I had a vehicle from that same dealership, and I know the people who, yeah, and they know Nesto. But anyway, that's just stories for other days. I'm sure the officials have done their research, or at least they should be doing their research and backtracking to Wade Ford in Smyrna. But y'all, Atlanta is the scam nation capital of the world. I don't know. I know they have, they always talk about Nigeria, and Nigeria loves scams, but SCAMLANA is the scam nation capital, as it relates to fraud, identity theft. It is right here in Atlanta. So it is not a surprise to me that this story takes place in Atlanta with Ernesto. It is not a surprise at all. And please go listen to the interview that was done with Hazel and Nyla from Grown Woman's Vibes. And she just really was very descriptive about so many things that occurred. And now I do believe the son is now implicated, because I'm not going to stand 10 toes down with you. I mean, what part of the story was that she told was that she had to strip down. So I, as a son, if I'm a daughter, I'm not co-signing with you with somebody having to strip down. You part and parcel to this mess. So now allegedly the son was named as a result of this interview. And so I believe there are a lot more people who are going to be named and indicted as a part of this mess, from people that may be associated with Ernesto Williams, and maybe even a blogger or and a blogger's friend. I don't know, but it seems like it, because some of the things that I witnessed, and we all witnessed on these YouTube streets, some of this stuff, I was like, at what point do you just report the story and then just go on? You know what I'm saying? Instead of, I don't need to go pray with you. I don't need to do any of those things, because the intent of what this was done in, it now it shows. And it wasn't done with, I just want to get a story to report it. It was done with some other, in my opinion, some other reasons. But and those are evident. Nobody had to say anything. We're living in a time where, we all are going to reap what we sowed. I've reaped some things that I've sowed, and they weren't very good, But at the same time, some of this stuff is just going to come out, and there's nothing we can do to hide it. There's nothing we can do to cover it up. It all came out. And, that drag, that read, that Hazel did with Miss Waller, it was appropriate. I think it was done in its best timing, on the best platform it could have been done on, and it was right on point, and the timing was perfect, to set some things straight. Okay, to set something straight as it relates to her story and some of these phone calls that recently came out. So guys, SCAMLANA, what do y'all think about this story with Ernesto? I am going to be reporting on it as the phone calls drop. I just wanted to come back and let you guys know that I'm going to be talking about this, because this is important. Some people have lived this. See, I was able to identify certain things because I had gone through some things. So I was already able to identify. And so when there was that little field trip, I was like, no, don't do it. I had already saw that things were going left. And some of these people are litigious. They like to always talk about defamation. But when you call yourself a gangster, when you call yourself a BI and all these other things, I don't know how much defamation, you can sue for when you are actually saying you are these things yourself. You know what I mean? So that's all I can say. When you identify as such, and then people come and give you that, that title, but a lot of these people they love to look up stuff, which is fine. You know what I mean? Ain't no mug shots on me. Some of these people, you know, just stalkers, and some of them, in my opinion, are just not wrapped too tight. But so be it. You know what I'm saying? Some people, they mess with some folks, and some folks are not about that life. But if you come for what was it? You come for me, I'm coming for you, and just better believe that. Okay, that's what I'm saying. You know. But anyway, y'all, let me know what y'all think about this story. YouTubers becoming a part of the story. I think there are going to be new indictments, and people charged with interfering and tampering. But go and look at that interview. I'll leave the links down below, and I will be following this story very, very closely. And we'll just go ahead on and pick up where we're supposed to pick up. But like, share, subscribe, hit that little bell. Let me know what you think about Atlanta being the Scamlanta, the scam nation capital of the world. I am Monique. See you soon.